He was the kind of man no one noticed. Quiet, punctual, always the first to arrive and the last to leave. His name was Ethan, and for 3 years he had worked under Ms. Claire Lawson, the kind of boss everyone feared. Sharp, proud, and merciless. That Monday morning, she called him out in front of the whole office. "You can't even do a simple report, right?" she shouted. The room went silent. Ethan felt his face burn as laughter filled the air. He stood there, humiliated, holding the paper she had just torn apart. He wanted to quit that day. But something stopped him, maybe pride, maybe the thought that one day she'd see who he really was. A week later, it happened. It was late evening. The office was empty when Ethan stepped outside and saw a car parked by the curb. Engine running, door open. Inside, Ms. Lawson sat motionless, her hands shaking on the steering wheel. She wasn't the powerful woman he knew. Her eyes were red, her phone buzzing with messages she refused to answer. Ethan hesitated, then knocked on the window. "Claire? Are you okay?" She tried to speak, but broke down. Her husband had been arrested. The company was under investigation. Her world was collapsing. Without saying a word, Ethan helped her out of the car, guided her inside, made her tea and stayed. He listened, really listened, while she told him everything. That night changed everything. The next morning, she came to the office early. Her voice trembled when she said, "Ethan, about last week, I was wrong. Thank you for not turning your back on me." The same people who had laughed at him now watched her apologize. And for the first time, Ethan didn't feel small. He didn't need revenge. He had something stronger, dignity. The atmosphere at work was different now. Claire avoided raising her voice. When she passed by Ethan's desk, there was a hesitation, a quiet respect that hadn't existed before. Ethan didn't know what to make of it. Part of him wanted to forgive her. Another part couldn't forget the humiliation. One afternoon, Claire approached him quietly. "Ethan," she said, "I'm not good at saying this, but I owe you an apology. Not just for that day, but for the way I've treated you all this time." Her eyes weren't cold anymore. There was guilt, real guilt. Ethan nodded. "You don't owe me anything. Just treat people better. That's all." From that day on, something shifted. They began to talk, small conversations at first, then longer ones. He discovered that behind her tough exterior was a woman drowning in pressure. A failed marriage, endless bored expectations, a reputation built on fear. She started asking for his help more often, not out of authority but trust. And slowly, against every instinct, Ethan began to care. Until one evening he received a call. Claire's voice trembled on the other end. "Ethan, I think someone's following me." Ethan rushed out of his apartment and drove to her address. The night was cold and quiet. Her car was parked outside, lights off, but the curtains moved as if someone was inside. When he entered, Claire stood by the window, pale and shaking. "There was a man watching me," she whispered. He was standing across the street. Ethan checked outside, nothing. But on the ground he found a folded note. It read, "You should have kept quiet." Claire froze. It was clear this wasn't random. The company investigation was bigger than she'd said. Someone didn't want her talking. That night, Ethan stayed until sunrise. For the first time, Claire looked at him not as an employee, but as someone she trusted with her life. Days passed, and whispers spread through the office. Someone had leaked financial records, and Claire was being blamed. Ethan knew she was innocent. She had shown him the proof. But the board didn't care about truth, only reputation. When investigators arrived, Claire was suspended. She sat in her office one last time, staring at the city below. "They think I did it," she said softly. Ethan leaned forward. "Then we proved them wrong." Together, they searched through files, emails, and reports late into the night. And when Ethan found the missing document, an email sent from another executive's account, everything clicked. Someone had framed her. But when they tried to confront the culprit, they realized something darker. The man behind it all was her husband, using her company to launder money. When Claire's husband found out she knew, he panicked. One night, he showed up at her apartment, demanding the documents. Ethan was already there, waiting. "You think you can ruin me?" the man shouted, pushing Claire against the wall. Ethan stepped between them. "It's over." A fight broke out, violent, desperate. The police arrived minutes later, sirens cutting through the night. Claire's husband was taken away, screaming her name. As the chaos faded, Claire stood there trembling. She looked at Ethan, tears in her eyes. "You saved me again." He smiled softly. "No, Claire, you saved yourself. I just didn't walk away this time." Months later, the company cleared Claire's name. The board reinstated her, and she immediately called Ethan into her office. He hesitated at the door, the same one where his humiliation had begun. "Ethan," she said, smiling faintly, "I want you to be my partner. You've earned it." He looked at her, surprised. "Partner?" "Yes," she said. "You believed in me when no one else did." That day, the same office that once broke him became the place where his story turned full circle. Claire never forgot what he did for her. And Ethan, the man nobody noticed, finally realized something he'd never seen before. Sometimes the ones who hurt us most are the ones fate sends to change us forever.